The buzzing of the UA dormitory was a familiar hum, filled with the chatter of the students, the usual clinking of utensils in the kitchen, and the occasional crash that undoubtedly caused by Bakugou and Midoriya. Izuku sat in the common room, fidgeting nervously on a couch. His green eyes looked towards the clock on the wall, then back to the television, which was showing one of the reruns of one of All Might's old battles. Beside him, you sat cross-legged, flipping through a textbook half-heartedly. Though you were supposed to be focused on your notes, your attention drifted to Izuku's nervous movements. Every time he glanced at the clock, he couldn't help but suppress a smile. "Are you okay, Izuku?" he asked, leaning softly, slightly towards him. Yeah," Izuku stammered, sitting up straighter as if he'd been caught doing something wrong. "I was just, checking the time, because we need to get started studying soon," he said, turning red. As he spoke, his avoidance, while he supposedly should be looking directly at you. You laughed, finding his flustered state endearing. "Don't worry, you've got plenty of time. Relax a little." Across the room, Bakugou slammed a cabinet shut, his crimson eyes narrowing as he glanced in your direction. "Oh, for the love of it, just kiss already, nerds," he barked, earning a ripple of laughter by the other students lounging nearby. "Bakugou!" Izuku yelled, his blush intensifying. His face buried in his hands. While he tried to stifle a laugh, your cheeks were heating up as well. "Don't mind him," Mina said, plopping onto a nearby couch with a mischievous grin. "We all think you two are adorable." "Second," Kaminari said with a thumbs up. "Third," came from Kirishima. "Stop encouraging them," Bakugou snarled. "They're just gonna keep dancing around each other like idiots." "Bakugou," Todoroki instructed quietly. "Perhaps you should let them handle it on their own terms." "Oh my god. Shut up, Icy Hot." As the teasing continued, you exchanged a knowing glance at Izuku. Both of you were too shy to say anything in response. The rest of the class didn't miss the way your eyes lingered on each other, though. Neither did All Might, who happened to stroll through the room at that very moment. "My boy," All Might boomed, clapping Izuku on the shoulder, startling him so much that he nearly dropped the remote. "You're looking particularly flushed today. Is everything alright?" Yes, All Might," Izuku squeaked, practically vibrating with embarrassment. All Might chuckled knowingly, his gaze looking between you and Izuku before he continued on his way. From the corner of the room, aizawa had entered, raising a single eyebrow, but otherwise said nothing, his usual tired expression hinting at mild amusement. Later that evening, Izuku found himself pacing the hallway outside your dorm room, clutching a notebook filled with notes on hero studies. He had agreed to come help you prepare for an upcoming test, but now that the moment was here, he was second-guessing pretty much everything. What if he said something stupid? What if you thought his notes were useless? What if you could tell how fast his heart was pounding just by looking at him? Gathering his courage, he knocked on the door when there was no answer. He frowned. "Ryan?" he called hesitantly. "It's Izuku. Are you in there?" Still no response. Worry began to prickle at his skin. Maybe you were asleep, or out somewhere, or maybe he didn't know. But that didn't make sense because you agreed to meet him tonight and you were always punctual. Feeling a mix of concern and awkwardness, Izuku decided just to peek inside. "I'm coming in, okay?" he spoke. But he was a bit anxious. He opened the door cautiously. The room was empty. Your study materials neatly spread out on the desk. Izuku stepped inside, glancing around for any sign of you. His gaze landed on the faint glow coming from the bathroom light. "Wen?" he called out again, stepping closer. His hands hesitated on the bathroom door handle. Maybe you just left the light on by accident, or maybe you were... Before he could even finish his thought, it got the better of him, and he pushed the door open. Izuku Midoriya stood there, frozen, In the doorway, his breath caught in his throat. You were just standing there, freshly out of training, wearing that sports bra and fitted shorts that hugged your form in a way that left nothing to the imagination. Your body glistened with a sheen of sweat from your earlier workout. You had clearly just been about to shower. Izuku's brain short-circuited, and he took in the sight. Oh my gosh. Izuku stammered, slamming a hand over his eyes, spitting away. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to. Oh no, this is so bad. I'm not a creep, I swear. You blinked at him, in surprise, realizing the situation. A small laugh escaped your lips as you reached a towel that was draping over your shoulders. Izuku, it's fine, really. But Izuku was spiraling. His face was bright red as he waved his hands in a frantic, almost sheer awkwardness of the moment. He was utterly embarrassed that he technically worked on you while you were in the shower, even though you hadn't even started yet. I didn't know. I was looking for you because we were supposed to study, and I thought maybe, but I didn't mean to invade your privacy. Oh no, he stammered out. You couldn't help but giggle at his flustered state. His frantic apologies and the way that he refused to even glance in your general direction were so endearing. Izuku, relax, you said softly, stepping closer and gently nudging him forward to get to the door. Just wait outside while I get dressed, okay? I'm so sorry, he blurted out again, stumbling back into the hallway. I didn't mean to. I'll just be out here. He slammed the door frame lightly as he backed away, his face still crimson red. You closed the door behind him, shaking your head with a smile. Izuku's adorable, shy nature was one of the really many reasons you liked him so much. You quickly changed, slipping into some casual clothes before stepping out into the hallway where Izuku was still pacing nervously. I'm so sorry, he said as soon as he saw you again, bowing his head in apology. I didn't mean to walk in on you. I should have knocked harder or waited longer. You placed your hands on his shoulder, stopping his panicked rambling. Izuku, you said with a bit of a giggle, but your tone was gentle and firm. It's okay. Really? Before he could finish, you reached up and cupped his face with your hands. His skin was warm beneath your touch, and his breath hitched. He stared at you, his words caught in his throat. You're too hard on yourself, you know that? You said with a soft smile. It was an accident. And honestly, you leaned in slightly, your voice dropping to a playful whisper. It's kind of cute how flustered you get. Izuku's eyes widened even more, and before he could say anything, he closed the distance between the two of you and pressed your lips to his. His entire body froze, his mind going blank as the soft warmth of your kiss melted away every coherent thought he may have had. For a moment, neither of you moved. Then slowly Izuku's hands nestled hesitantly on your waist as if he was afraid to touch you. When you pulled back slightly, his gaze met yours, and you saw the mix of awe and disbelief in his expression. YN? He whispered. His voice was barely audible. You smiled, leaning in again, this time deepening the kiss. Izuku's hands responded more eagerly. They were tightening their grip on you. He began to lose himself in the moment. The nervous and hesitation, all that was all built up, seemed to just melt away as your lips moved together, the rest of the world fading into the background. When you finally broke apart, both of you were breathless, your faces flushed, and Izuku stared at you, his mouth opening and closing as he struggled to find the right words. What just happened? He managed to stammer out. You laughed softly, your hands still on his cheeks. I kissed you, Izuku, and if I'm not mistaken, you absolutely kissed me back. I did, he admitted, his face blushing more. But does that mean? It means I like you, Deku, you said, your voice filled with warmth. I've liked you for a while now, and I'm pretty sure you feel the exact same way. His eyes lit up with a mixture of joy. You like me? Really? You nodded. His smile grew even wider than you'd ever seen it. I do. I mean, I like you too. I've liked you for a long time. And actually, I didn't know how to say it because I was so scared that you would feel the same way. And you cut him off with another quick kiss, laughing against his lips. Izuku, you ramble so much. Sorry, he replied sheepishly, though his smile didn't falter. You're adorable, you said, resting your forehead against his. And for the record, I think everybody already knew that we liked each other. We weren't exactly subtle about it. Izuku groaned, his face heating up again. Oh no, even Bakugou? Especially Bakugou, you teased. He's been dying to call us out for weeks now. Izuku let out a nervous laugh, his arms wrapping around you in a gentle embrace. I guess we don't have to hide it anymore, huh? Not unless you want to, you replied, leaning into him. But I don't think I can keep pretending I don't have feelings for you. He smiled shyly, his confidence growing with each passing second. Me neither. The sound of loud footsteps made you both pull apart, just in time to see Bakugo stomping down the hallway, his eyes narrowing as he stopped in front of the two of you. Finally confessed, huh? He muttered, crossing his arms. Took you long enough. You and Izuku exchanged a glance, laughing softly. For once, Bakugo didn't explode at the reaction, though he did roll his eyes and mutter something about stupid lovebirds as he walked away. As you and Izuku returned to your room, you actually started studying like you were supposed to do before. You couldn't help but feel lighter, knowing that your feelings were finally just out in the open, and judging by the way Izuku kept sneaking shy glances at you, his face kept glowing with a sheen of happiness. You were pretty sure he felt the same way. The soft hum of the dormitory faded into the background as you pressed yourself closer to Izuku Midoriya, your lips moving against his again. You found yourself back in your kissing situation. It was with a feverous that even surprised you. The green-haired hero in training was especially as authentic as you were. Those actions were tinged with a hint of nervousness that was undeniably Izuku. His hands rested hesitantly on your waist, trembling slightly as if he was terrified of overstepping. You could feel his hesitation, and it only made you smile against his lips more. Breaking the kiss for a moment, you looked at him with a playful gleam in your eye. You don't have to be so shy, Izuku, you whispered, your breath brushing against his flushed face. I just don't want to mess it up, he stammered, his green eyes darting away, with his cheeks turning a deep shade of red. I mean, this is, new. He laughed softly, cupping his face and bringing his gaze back to yours. You're doing fine. Just relax. You kissed him again, more deeply this time. After a moment, his hands tightened around your waist, emboldened. You decided to take it a step further. Gently, you reached down and moved one of his hands to guide it up to your chest, guiding it until his fingers rested against your breast. Izuku froze immediately, his breath hitching in his throat. Again? He squealed, pulling back slightly. I don't know if it's okay, he reassured him. Your voice was soft. I trust you. His wide eyes searched yours for a moment before he nodded, his hand remaining where you placed it. His thumb brushed tentatively against you, the action just shivered on your spine. Encouraged by your response, he leaned in to kiss you more, this time with a little bit more confidence. The moment was intense, your heart racing through the roar outside as Izuku seemed to vanish. That is, until the door suddenly burst open. Yo, Midoriya! Hey, Kirishimo's cheerful voice cut off when he saw the situation. Stopping in his tracks, his red eyes widening in shock. Bakugou froze, standing mid-step beside him with confusion. What the hell? You and Izuku broke apart instantly, both of you scrambling to put some distance between each other. Izuku's face turned beet red once again, his hands flying in a frantic attempt to explain. It's not what it looks like, he blurted, his voice cracking as he stumbled over his words. We were just, Izuku Izuku didn't exactly know how to explain this. Yeah, maybe Bakugou knew, but the rest of the class did not know that you two were technically together now. It's not what it looks like, he tried to explain. It's exactly what it looks like. You muttered under your breath, hiding your face in your hands. He or she, and ever the supportive friend, tried to stifle a laugh as he stepped back into the hallway. Maybe we should have knocked, he said, glancing at Bakugou. Bakugou, however, was less amused. Are you kidding me? He barked, pointing the accusatory finger at Izuku. You was sneaking around with why and you didn't tell anyone? You're the worst liar I've ever seen, Deku. I wasn't sneaking around, Izuku protested. His voice was high-pitched. We just didn't tell anyone. You laughed, watching as Izuku tried to explain himself to the boys. This was definitely going to be a fun relationship.